This is the Beacon70, an FRL is 70% keyboard. This was sent to me by NLANDKEYS to review, so I don't blame you if you are skeptical of any positive remarks, but let's talk about it. Nlands is selling these starting at $159 per kit, and they're all in stock, and each kit comes with a PC plate. Unfortunately, I don't have the PC plate, and I was sent an FR4 one instead, but you can purchase the FR4 one from their store as well. The Beacon70 has a per key flex cut PCB. What that means for this board is that the typing feel is soft, a bit softer than a PCB with longer flex cuts between each row. This helps create a consistent sound across the alphas, but the sound is quieter and thinner compared to any non-flex cut PCB. Because the sound is quiet and thin, a lot of people really dislike flex cut PCBs, but if you enjoy the sound of foam or tape mod, then that can bring in some more life back into the sound, though it will sound like any other board with foam in it. But if you're looking for something quiet, maybe something quiet for the office, a flex cut board paired with silent switches is perfect. With a silent switch, the Beacon70 could be great in an office environment. Here's a quick sound test. The thing I like about the typing feel of flex cut boards in general is that you can kind of feel a small amount of reverb or vibration from the PCB flexing while typing. It gives a different kind of tactile feel than you would in a tactile switch. How much vibration you feel depends on the type of flex cuts, the plate, the mounting style, and even the PCB thickness. In the Beacon70 with the FR4 plate, that vibrating feeling is very slight though. But the typing feel is soft, and probably softer with the PC plate. The FR4 plate has cuts all over, but none of them are very long. This lets you feel a bit of the softness from the flex cut PCB and doesn't completely mitigate the flex cut typing feel despite FR4's stiffness. But this also helps the typing experience feel not too soft. Let's take a look at the overall design. This is supposed to say Beacon. You can get a glossy chamfer, which is this shiny reflective chamfer that goes around the inside cuts of the top case. Some configurations on the NLANDKEYS website has these, some don't, so be sure to double check that if that's something you're interested in. This uses a screwless design, meaning there's no screws showing on the bottom, but the case screws are actually underneath the keycaps. I like it because you don't have to flip the board over to disassemble, but sometimes it does feel like a hassle to remove keycaps just to unscrew the case. The LED is the caps lock indicator and customizable in VIA. The whole case is made of aluminum, so it's easy to move around and carry, but some configurations you can include a stainless steel weight instead. The front height is 19.5mm and the typing angle is 7.5 degrees. Kind of on the tall side, but just barely. The mounting system uses leaf springs. These are actually kind of stiff and doesn't really add much bounce like I've seen in other leaf spring boards, but not really a bad thing considering this board already has per key flex cuts. The plate has slots for these small gasket things which rest in the slots of the leaf springs, and that's just how it's mounted. The anodization looks good throughout the board, and I see no issues with it. It looks almost exactly like my baby blue Neo Ergo, just very slightly lighter in color. I know anodization is hardly ever bad, like the Wakehav record keyboard is known for, but I figure it's worth mentioning since the manufacturer is relatively not well known in the West. I did a force break with one layer of tape, and that helped lower the amount of resonance, but you can still hear it a bit. Even though the mic does pick up more of that resonance noise than I can usually hear, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone who cares about having a board with no resonance at all, even with the force break. If you use plate foam though, that resonance is gone. For $159, I find it a little hard to recommend next to the Neo 70, which is a little cheaper for a hot swap build. But the Beacon has a different mounting style and a more unique looking design, especially with the glossy chamfer, which might matter more to you if you like the sound of foam already. In that case, if you're looking for something a little more unique in design for the price, it's an okay purchase in my opinion. Anyways, thanks for watching, and here are the sound tests.